All right, good morning, everyone. And we are live from Techno Security in Myrtle Beach, 2022, day 2. And you can see, oh wait, that's not Kevin DeLong. Hold on. There you go. So kicking off day 2, and it was a fun first day, by the way. Man, this conference, I think you might agree. This is Justin Tolman, by the way.
Hello.
How many years have I known you now, Justin?
We're getting up there, so I think 7 or 8.
True that, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And you've probably seen Justin before on one of our hubcasts. He's been on before, done some webinars with us, so it's been a fun conference so far. What do you think?
Yeah, and it's a lot busier, I think, from last year, which I think, COVID kind of whatever it's doing right now. Yeah. But most people are getting out, and
right.
It's good to see. I think the floor is a lot busier. There's a lot more people milling around.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100% because you can just get some people, and you're lucky that the other folks from Exterro aren't really paying attention right now because I know they're going to mess with you at some point.
That's typical. So we'll just stay over. We'll look this way.
Right. Oh, he's eyeballing now, so yeah. He's eyeballing.
Yeah.
I think he's a little nervous. We'll see what he's going to do. Dan he's got the ornery look in his eye. You really can't see him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, very good. So Exterro is in the house this year.
Yep.
So what kind of new things are going on over there?
So yeah, we've got a lot of stuff going on. First off, the acquisition of Access Data, right? So
right.
Exterro is developing FTK now. So the Access Data house was absorbed into Exterro,
right?
And that's been going really good. They've ramped up development into the FTK products. So Forensic Toolkit is still alive and well, so that's good to know. We're adding web-based review. We're adding automation. We have FTK Connect.
I've seen some graphics on that. That looks really interesting. I'd like to have you on a future show you can actually show that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it looks really interesting. It reminds me a little bit, unless those graphics weren't like the true representation of what it actually did. Was it like a drop, like it does this and this, and is it really that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Man, that reminds me of like, if you go on, like if anyone's ever used MailChimp or something like that, it's that simple, huh?
And so for me, a nerd, it reminded me of old school Unreal Tournament, like map editing and stuff, where you just drag and drop the automation in, Kismet or whatever they called it.
Right.
But yeah, it really is that simple. We actually have a demo at the booth this year here, but it's drag and drop. We've had an API automation system for a little while, like 2 years maybe.
Okay.
But it was all manual coding. And so an organization would have to know Python. It's like, we know Python,
right?
But not everybody does. Or you have to know like C++ or C# or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so the feedback was, hey, this is cool. We love automating, but we don't have the time. We don't have the manpower, the skills to code our own integrations, our own automation. And so we built, like you said, it's a drag and drop interface. You want to collect, you want to process, you want to create a case, notify users, label, search, export. You just drag and drop, and it'll do all that for you.
I'm amazed by it. So I definitely want you guys on to kind of show that, because it's really more for me. I'm really interested in what's going on, and it sounds like it's made things like a lot easier for just a standard investigator, right? Where they don't have to worry about, I got to go in here and click this. It just does it.
Yeah,
once you set it up.
We have implementations in both law enforcement and enterprise environments. And for the law enforcement side, what's really nice is it kind of frees up the examiner that, like, you have like forensic experts that can do everything from hex diving all the way to just viewing a picture.
Right.
Well, let's get that stuff to like detectives or investigators that all they do is look at pictures. They don't want to mess with processing. They don't want to learn how to, what do I click? No, we can set up automation with that. So they just drop their data set in. FTK Connect will process it all and then kick it out to them in a portable case or FTK case if they wanted.
Nice.
And then they just go through and kick out the report, take a look at it.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it really lowers that barrier of entry.
So I know where I'm going to be after this broadcast. I'm going to come over. Well, I'll wait because you have a talk after this.
Yeah.
So we got to. Yeah, I'll be aware of the time here. I won't keep you too long. If not, he's running away.
I'm prepared. So if all of a sudden I just throw these down and I'm out, yeah, we're good.
Awesome. So what's your talk on today about? You got it.
10:30.
10. Oh, we got time. Heck,
Yeah,
we got time.
so whatever time it is, but so it's going beyond the button, the importance of data carving and image exif. And the origin of the name of Going Beyond the Button is actually from my YouTube channel, in that I started creating material where using a forensic tool, very important.
Yes.
And, I work for a company that makes a forensic tool.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, but no forensic tool does everything, and the examiner is really the most powerful forensic
Right.
tool
I would agree with that
yeah.
being one. Yeah.
out there. And so this material is designed like, hey, your forensic tools go this far,
Yeah.
but to solve a case, you may need to take one step further, go beyond that button, understand what's happening underneath. And so this specific presentation is on, okay, what if you carve an image, but you don't get the data out of it that you want?
Right.
Where can you look within the disk to get that information,
Sure.
that the tool won't record?
And I think that's something that's been lacking a lot. And I know I've known you for a while, and I know you're always a huge proponent of that. So it's good that you're showing folks that, because they need to know what the button's doing. So that's
Absolutely.
awesome. And your podcast is on YouTube, right? So people can
Yeah.
check it out. I'll put a description, if I figure out how to do it from a live one, right?
Yeah.
Down somewhere in the description, right?
Cool.
So we'll link over to your podcast too. And I know that we put some occasionally in the hub too. We should
Yeah.
just put your whole channel in there and just be done with it. So,
Yeah, we should.
There it is. So done here.
Yeah, so I actually presented some of the material that we'll be going over on the Cyber Social Hub. So while the Techno presentation won't be recorded, if you wanted to check it out, you can go to the Cyber Social Hub, small plug for you.
Yeah, thank you.
And there's a recorded presentation there on this topic, so you can check it out and learn about it
Ah,
if you didn't make the conference.
Yeah,
So,
very cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Because I really think that it's lacking in modern examiners. They learn, and you've seen it, I'm sure, they learn a piece of software, and that's just what they use. They're not sure what's happening, and it never took much to make me look dumb on the stand. It's really an easy feat. But by having that knowledge, you can actually defend your position, and you can verify your tool, right?
yeah, and one thing I talk about in this presentation is the more you understand about how computers work, in addition to the tool, the more you understand why the tool may be giving you the results that it's giving you, or
Right.
why something isn't there or is there, or where that thing might be. And so, for example, in data carving, why am I missing the first chunk of the file? Why am I not seeing this information? Oh, well, this is how file systems work and all that sort of stuff. And the more you understand about that, the easier actually forensics becomes in explaining on the stand. Even if you don't go that deep, if they're like, hey, why wasn't this here, you're ready to go. Not because whatever, but you know how a computer works, so it's like, hey, this is why it is, So,
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100% with everything that you just said. But I'm seeing also one of your sales guys circle around us here, Wasson, who's also a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he wanted.
handlers.
The handlers are here.
Yeah.
They're not paying attention, so they're in their own conversation.
Yeah, but yeah, they're good dudes.
Yeah, no, they really are. I used to obviously work with
Right.
you, right? And Wasson was there also at that time. And yeah, we're talking about you, so welcome to the
Yep.
was there, and great bunch of people. And actually, who else is here? Dirk's, right?
Dirk's
He's
here.
somewhere.
Sam Acarola
Yeah, Sam's here.
and Blake. Yep.
Oh yeah, see, I know all of them actually.
My first meeting with Wasson, though, not a meeting, but the first time we met, I was teaching out of our Access Data Sterling office.
Oh, right.
And forgot all my license dongles. And so I walk into his office, I'm like, hey, man, do you have, and he's just like, why are you asking me? What am I supposed to do? And fortunately, we kept like a bunch of license dongles in the classroom, but I had to like find them. But he was like, man, I don't know.
Why are you bothering?
Who is this
He
guy?
gave the typical, why are you bothering
Yeah,
with this
who's
Wasson
this
look?
guy?
Is what it was.
The instructor who shows up without license dongles to run. He's like, yeah, sure, thanks, buddy.
So very cool. That's so funny. But I know you guys are also not just digital forensics. You're moving, obviously Exterro is in some cybersecurity stuff and
Yeah.
more enterprise level type solutions.
Yeah.
Can you, are you versed enough to speak of
Yeah.
one of those? All right.
So Exterro itself, like, covers the whole kind of range from even e-discovery, privacy, and data governance into
okay.
forensics. And then just within the forensics bubble, since that's where I live.
Yeah. Yeah.
We focus in on both enterprise, corporate stuff, as well as law enforcement. But in the realm of enterprise and corporate, yeah, we're getting more into post-breach response, and that comes in as well with our FTK automation through FTK Connect, being able to integrate with SOAR and SIEM technologies like Splunk or Palo Alto that do true intrusion detection and that sort of stuff. So we don't do that. That's not us.
Okay.
And so we integrate with them. So Splunk or Palo Alto will detect something. We can get an alert from them and then start to perform forensic activities around the breach based on the type of alert that goes off. So you would drag and drop, right?
Yeah.
All that stuff in. So if I get this alert, do X, Y, Z through the network. And this is in compliance with CISA, which is the Cybersecurity Infrastructure and Security Agency. So they were formed.
Holy acronym, Batman.
Yeah, I know.
Kudos to you for remembering that. That's
Yeah,
good, good job.
It's been a topic lately. And I'm making an 8-part video series on their playbook. So it's been something that's been on my mind lately. But they were founded in 2018. So they're a newer government agency.
Okay.
So a lot of times we'll say CISA, and people are like, I don't know what that is.
Who?
Yeah. And 2018, but in last year, November 2021, if anybody's watching this much later, 2021 was last year.
Right on.
They came out with a incident response and vulnerability playbook.
Okay.
And what this was a playbook, hence the name, of how to respond and what actions to take in the event of a breach if you're a federal civilian executive branch agency. So these are department
I tracked
ofs.
that actually, yeah.
Yeah, these are the department ofs, except for like DOD, those types of things. But so if you're one of those, or you're a contractor with one of those, or you do business with one of those, a lot of times,
which is most of
a
that,
lot of people, then this playbook is important to you. And I have a presentation tomorrow that will talk about Zero Trust and this playbook, but it's laid out pretty well, really well. I mean, that's their job. And they worked with NIST, and they take from a lot of different resources. And the whole idea is, if a breach happens, you should do this, and then this, and this. And it doesn't specify, like, push this button. These are the implementations you should have in place to do that. So as part of that, there's things like declare a breach. So something's happened. That might be Palo Alto or Splunk or a determination based on that information. Then it goes to like collection and analysis. Well, wait a minute, that's forensics, right? And so that's where like FTK can come in, or whatever forensic solution or implementation you want, because it can be a hybrid as well, depending on what it is. And then it goes through, and you need to, of course, remediate the breach and recover. And then one of the biggest things with the CISA playbook, though, that they're really focusing on is communication. And that's one thing that I think is lacking, because, if Kevin DeLong gets breached, then it's like, well, I'm not sharing that with anybody. I'm not going to share that. And so what happens, though, is the breach that happened there also happens to me, and I didn't know about it, and I don't share it. And then Wasson gets hit, and he didn't know, and so what CISA's set up a lot of support structure around as well is, if you get breached, it's now by mandate and by policy that you have to report it. To them. You have to give them details on what happened. Now, it's not details in that, like, this was stolen and, nothing that's going to harm your agency or your company or anything like that, but this is the type of attack that we had. This is the type of vectors that were used and things like that. And this is how we responded and different things. And what CISA can do at that point is work with the other agencies and be like, all right, here's what happened. Let's all learn from this, and what is it, like high tide raises all ships together? whatever that cliche.
That's it, right?
Whatever. And but that way they all learn together. Because here's the thing, the bad actors out there, they're not on their own. They're working together.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's on forums, 4chan, underground, dark web, whatever. They're working together. But then on the good side, whatever you want to call it, the whatever side, we're just like, oh no, can't.
The light side of the Force.
The light side of the Force.
There we go. We'll
Yeah.
reference them. Yeah.
We'll get Star Wars in. We got to
We
get
got
it
to.
in.
I think I've done it every one so far.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, absolutely. We tend to just keep it in house because we don't want anybody to know. But I think like we're living in an era, unfortunately, where while you don't want to be breached, I mean nobody's immune.
Right.
So,
Absolutely, 100%.
so anyway, so that's the CISA playbook, and as far as the forensic portion, we fit in really well with that with our automation. Obviously, Forensic Toolkit's been around for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And we're built really well in the enterprise world with our agent. We can remediate with our agent.
Nice.
So we can delete files, kill processes, kill services. We can close your ports. So what's
No
cool
kidding.
about this is with our agent within your network, if you detect a breach, well, now you pass it to Enterprise. Enterprise like, all right, I'm going to go to that machine, shut down all the ports except for the one I need to connect with it. You can do your remediation, and maybe that remediation is just shut that machine down, right? Maybe it's something like we don't want to mess with it. We're just going to kill it. FTK can do that, and
I'll be doggone.
or if you want to, of course, if you're like, listen, we found the rogue process, we've killed it. Now
Yep.
we want to image it.
Sure.
Well, you can do that too, and so it'll kick off that process and go, and then with our automation, it'll kick that off, export any files that you want. It can search those files, label them, and even export them if you
Wow.
wanted. And then
Wow.
your guys at the end get that report and make sure, and then they can go in and do their manual stuff if they need.
Yeah. How long has this feature been out in FTK? It's probably been longer than.
So the automation portion,
Yeah.
the API, we just called it an API. That's very original.
Yeah.
Has been out for a while. However, the graphical user interface releases in July.
Okay.
But like I
Oh,
said,
sure, yeah,
we
the
have
Connect, right?
Yeah, Connect releases in July, and all that is we're adding that simplified drag and drop GUI on top of it.
Okay.
The agent remediation and all that ability
Yeah.
has actually been around for at least a year
Okay.
or more.
Okay.
So, yeah, and we also added, so part of Zero Trust, part of CISA,
Mm-hmm.
is being able to do all of that, whether it's on your network or off your network. And that includes like, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm connected to the VPN. You're at Starbucks just connected to the internet. If you have an agent on your machine, it will phone home to Enterprise whatever you configure it to.
Sure.
And so let's say that there's been a breach and you want to check your employee's computer who's at Starbucks over the internet, connect out to that. We can shut down processes, pull files. We could shut down their machine technically.
Really?
If we wanted, and that'd be a bummer if you're at Starbucks and your machine turns off.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, for them, yeah.
yeah, for them. Yeah, good for the company, bad for them.
You know.
But
Works out, right?
that's important to do because Zero Trust, big thing, the presidential mandate earlier this year
Right.
came out, said this is something we've got to do in, I think, or last year, but 3 years I think he gave us, or 3 or 4 years.
Oh, okay.
President Biden gave government agencies to employ Zero Trust framework into their networks. So things like FTK Enterprise, you can whitelist our agent through the thing very easily. We support Zero Trust connection. And so even across the internet, you're able to maintain those connections within Zero Trust. And Zero Trust dictates that you have to be able to manage your machines anywhere at any time. And so that's what we do.
And you're there. You guys are already there.
We're already there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Kudos to you guys and the dev teams out there for that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much phenomenal. And I just happen to know some salespeople that may be interested in chatting with you if you guys want to know more information on that, for sure. So.
Yeah. So I'm not a salesperson. I just know the tech and can talk forensic and Star Wars.
Right.
With Kevin. So our follow-up podcast on Obi-Wan later.
Oh man, yeah.
later
It's
this year.
what day? Meg 27th.
27th,
That's
yeah.
right. I keep saying the 25th, but they pushed it
They
2
pushed it
days, and
back,
it messes with my. So my wife, who's standing behind camera here, we were at ISIS last week.
Yeah.
And as part, they got me an early Father's Day gift, and they bought me the Savi's experience to go in and build a lightsaber.
Oh, nice.
It was so nerdy. I'm 50, right? And there
Yeah.
I sat all by myself. Everybody's with their families and stuff in line for this, and there I am. You have to put this little pin on, which is really, nerd. It's pointing right at you at this point. So there you are, wearing this like little pin, and I'm just standing there, like 50-year-old, just ready to go into this place, and everybody's looking at me. Is this guy all right? Is he one of those creepy guys? You know, the ones we used to investigate?
Yeah,
Those guys. And I'm like, no, man. This is a lightsaber. We're going to build it. It was a great experience.
Nice.
I
That's
highly
so awesome.
recommend it. Have you been down to Disney and to see the Star Wars Black Spire Outpost?
Not yet.
Oh,
So,
my gosh.
my family, we had a Disneyland, Disney World. We were bouncing between the two, planned. We were getting it already. Then COVID hit and shut it all down. And so now we just haven't powered that back up.
It's full up and running, and I
Yeah.
would highly recommend it. We're Uber. We'll talk more. I don't want to
Yeah.
podcast completely about that. We're shifting. But, man, hey, thank you. I don't want to keep you too long because I know you got some class prep probably to do. Got the 30 minutes before you go.
Yeah.
So, man, I appreciate it as always.
No, always good.
Hanging out. And we're at Techno Security in Myrtle Beach, day 2. It's actually started off. You hear raspiness in my voice? Yes, it is Myrtle Beach, and we're on day 2. It was a later night than I originally anticipated, but it was fun.
And a lot of yelling on the showroom floor.
Yeah. Oh man, just to
talk.
right,
You know.
right. And if you haven't had a chance to come down here now, I know we're going to have Jennifer on later today. We're going to go live with her. She's got some information. If you haven't heard the plans about Techno, there she goes, kind of running that way. She's going to come on and talk about some changes in the conference, which I know you know about. We're going to leave it to her to break the big secrets.
Nice.
So, all right, but hey, again, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'll let you go to your class, and thank you guys. Just stay tuned here because I'm not going to schedule out when we actually go live because I never really know, right? Because it's between, can we pull a guest in, can we not? So just hang out on the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And there should be a little bell in one of these corners somewhere that you can click and be notified when we go live. So that way you can kind of track. You can turn that off at any time. So after the conference, turn it off if you don't care to hear from us anymore when we go live. But yeah, check that out. Otherwise, thanks, and we'll see you guys on the next one again. Justin, thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, see you guys.